Hi, Sweet Peachers! Welcome back to the Sweet Peach Box, and today we're sharing another recipe of custard filled donuts. And look how filled do these look! Amazing! Can't wait to share the recipe with you. So for this recipe, you'll need 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and half a cup of milk. We will stir this in very gently. Dry ingredients will be taking in 2¼ cup of all-purpose flour with 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 packet of active dry yeast, with all my wet ingredients mixing into my Auto Ninja that I'm going to knead the dough in. You can also do this by hand and you do not need a Ninja to do it. I'm just going to pat in my dough, and then I'm going to roll it into a ball and set it aside for the yeast to activate. Just putting in butter, and then I would store this in a dry, warm place like my oven, but make sure you do not turn that on. So I'm just gonna set this aside right now and watch it rise. So while that rises, I'm going to prepare my custard cream. You can also use store-bought, but I'm gonna make it at home using 3 egg yolks. Now into that I'm gonna pour half a cup of powdered sugar and really mixing it in, leaving no lumps. And then I'm going to add all-purpose flour, about half a cup, and then I'm using 2½ cups of milk. I'm using 2 cups of milk, and then I'm gonna use half a cup in about a minute. You'll see it with lemon zest. So I took 1 lemon zest that I grated, and then I added the remainder of the milk with lemon zest and brought it to a boil. And then once it gets 1 boil, I set it aside, and then I use my custard wet ingredients on a medium heat, cook it for about a minute, and then I'm gonna add my lemon zest and my milk that I had set aside. Pour that in and make sure that everything comes to a nice boil. Now this should take about 3 to 4 minutes, and it'll come to a boil and start to thicken. And once it starts to thicken, you can boil it for longer if you want very thicker cream, but this consistency is what I like. You can strain it too to take out the lemon zest, but I'm happy with it. I'm just gonna put some saran wrap on it and set it aside in the fridge to cool. Doubled in size, and I'm going to give this yeast a nice big punch to take out all the air out, and then I'm going to roll it out. I'm going to take this dough now, and I'm going to cut this into nicely 12 even dough pieces for my donuts, and medium-sized, even as you can be. And then once I have those 12 pieces, I am going to start prepping to fry them. Now this recipe does make about dozen donuts. You could always double or reduce the recipe to make less or more donuts depending on how many you want to make. Then I'm gonna take some baking sheet paper or wax paper, and I'm going to cut it into 2 by 2. 1 individual for each of my donuts. This way it's easier to transfer, to store, and also while I am going to fry and pick them up, it'll be easier to handle them. For my dough, as you can see, I'm just rolling it and pinching it towards the center. And this way I am rolling this into a ball and setting it aside onto the individually baking sheet that I've cut, and this way I'm gonna do that to all the rest of my donuts and make sure that I have them nicely pinched in and set aside. Now I'm gonna set these aside once all are done for another like 15-20 minutes to rest. rest and get into like a nice shape. While they are resting, I'm going to take a medium pan and heat up the oil. This is after 15 minutes, and I am now gently taking each one of them and pouring into the oil. The oil, as you can see, is not very hot. It's actually on low medium, and I'm gonna keep it at that, or actually turn it in even a little bit lower, and I'm going to let each one of them cook on low medium heat for about 2 minutes on each side until it starts to get golden brown. I'm going to do that with all of them. Once that's done, I'm going to take out my custard, mix it in, and then prep my piping bag so that I can get ready to start filling my donuts. Once I have this nicely into the piping bag, I am going to take a barbecue stick or an ice cream stick and then start to poke a hole into the donut. Once I do that, I am going to stir it into the sugar. Just to make sure that it's nicely and well coated, and I'm gonna do that to a couple more of the donuts, and then I'm going to start filling these with custard cream. Now you can fill them as much as you like or as little as you like, depending on how much of cream you like, but I'm gonna do this and fill it to a good amount. Now, of course, you can add Boston cream, or you could add chocolate cream or chocolate mousse, whatever sort of cream you like. But I wanted to try the classic vanilla custard donuts, and that's what I'm doing here. And as you can see, starting to look good and starting to fill up. And this was really so much fun to make. And trust me, it looked so much, but it was really, really easy to make. And I'm gonna take one of the donuts and we're gonna try and open it up and see how much we have filled and how delicious and soft the bread looks. It was so delicious. I literally ate like half the donuts. Okay, maybe not half, maybe like 3 of them. And it was really delicious and tasted so good, and the homemade cream was amazing. So I want to thank you all for watching the video and for staying all the way to the end. For the recipe, please check the link in bio, and you can also check our library for all the other amazing fall recipes that we have shared. And if you have enjoyed this recipe, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.